Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Brain Vomit podcast. I am your host, Camille Moody. And in the first episode today, we're just going to be talking about what the podcast is, what we're going to be talking about, why you should listen to me, and about, who I am a little bit. So let's just get right into it. So, hello, the pillow fell over. Let me fix that. Wow, first episode and my background is not even together. Please. Okay. So, I decided to call this Brain Vomit because in the middle of 2020, I think it was like June 2020, I made an artistic journal. And at the time, I loved poetry. I liked writing. I liked drawing, just kind of like everything artistic. I liked scrapbooking a little bit. And I just didn't want to have one journal for each kind of thing. So I just put it all into one and kind of, at first I called it a whatever journal, but it just didn't kind of roll off the tongue right. But then I just kind of thought of brain vomit, same thing as word vomit, except it's just thoughts. I had a lot of thoughts that I was putting out onto this journal. And yeah, it was just really cool to see all the things that I came up with. I still have the journal. It's still unfinished. I kind of add things in there from time to time. But yeah, it's really just all of my thoughts onto just pages. Whether that be drawing, stickers, scrapbooking, writing, it's a little bit of everything. So that's kind of what I want this podcast to be, and that's why it's called Brain Vomit. It's just going to be my thoughts vomited out onto, this microphone. Hopefully not actual vomit, but I think you get the idea. So why I also have my sticky note right here. So if I keep looking down, then that's why I have to, had to have structure. Okay, first episode, I'm a little bit prepared. This is not all improv. Okay, I'm going to have some structure a little bit, or at least I'm going to try and have structure. I'm not a podcasting expert, but I am a YouTube expert, okay? But I did have a YouTube channel. And I'm using, actually, funny, the same tripod that I used when I was in middle school and the beginning of high school and everything. So it's a little nostalgic, but yeah, super fun. So why you should listen to me. I know this is probably going to sound like another 20-year-old girl who has a podcast about her opinions. You're kind of spot on. I am another 20-year-old girl who is making a podcast about pretty much her thoughts and opinions. But I feel like I am very introspective, and I also love hearing people's different perspectives and ideas. I will never shy away listening to a different perspective, even if it is so far off of mine. So I definitely want to bring on some people like my friends that might have, different opinions than me. We just talk it out. I think that's just like the beauty of our minds and how we can just formulate these different opinions and be so sure on them, but someone have a completely different, a completely opposing idea or opinion. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. And I do want to talk about a little bit of everything. This is not just going to be just a mental health podcast or just a psychology podcast or just a story time podcast. It's going to be all of it. Also, I mean, the main people that are going to be listening to this are my friends, right? Like, I don't have like a huge audience and I'm putting this out to. So to my friends listening, this is just I guess you can just hear me talk about my opinions. Some of the things y'all are already going to know about, some you might not. Another thing I want to talk about on this podcast is my faith, for sure. I feel like I definitely don't do it enough. And I feel like there's not much opportunity in my daily in-person conversations for something like that to come up in conversation, if you know what I mean. I do sometimes, but it's never all the time, and there are definitely some topics in regards to my faith that I want to discuss on here. It's definitely become my number one priority over the last couple of years, for sure. Like if you asked me 2 years ago to talk about it, I'd be like, maybe, but now I'm set. I'm set in it. So yeah, it's super excited to get into all these topics. Some other things I'm going to be getting into, like I said before, mental health, psychology, my personal experiences, story times, opinions, advice. I've been told I give good advice, so be on the lookout for that. I also want to talk about life in your 20s, relationships in your 20s, and like I said before, special guests, which will be my friends that are probably listening to this podcast right now. But yeah, I'm just very excited to get into it all. I do have several ideas for my next few episodes of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to talk about and everything. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Like, I'm just so excited to get into it. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a few years. Actually, fun fact, I used to be anti-podcast, like, oh my gosh, 4 years ago now. I almost said 2 years ago. I thought it was 2021 for a second. But yeah, like back in like 2019, 2018, I would not be able to sit still and listen to a podcast. I think it was just, I was not mature enough to kind of handle that form of media yet. But yeah, I would always say like I don't have like the attention span or the energy to sit and listen to somebody talk. But now I feel like over the last couple of years for sure, the whole just like the idea of podcasting has shifted a lot. I know before, at least the podcast that I had access to and saw was they were all like educational and informative, which is great. And I'm glad we still have those podcasts today because they're very, very important. But now it's kind of shifted to a more casual approach with, you know, people coming on just talking about their opinions and life experiences. And I feel like it's just become a lot more relatable, you know? For example, Emma Chamberlain's podcast, she is amazing. What's it called? Anything Goes. Yeah. I'm a huge fan. Love it so much. And yeah, she just gets on here and talks about her opinions. And you know, everybody loves it, and she is open to hearing new perspectives and ideas, which I think is great, which we do not have enough of, you know, in today's society, world, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we have enough people, you know, willing to hear different perspectives. And, you know, I think we forgot how to agree to disagree, but that will be in a different episode for another day. This is just the intro. But yeah, definitely took a lot of inspiration from her show. And yeah, it's just great. And we've seen a lot of YouTubers that we watch, you know, these little lifestyle, I don't want to say little, sorry, they're not little. These lifestyle YouTubers are now transforming into podcasters and, you know, kind of doing both, which I find interesting. Like a lot of these lifestyle YouTubers have started podcasts, and I just find it interesting. I think podcasts are a good form of media. Like you can pick and choose what you listen to. You can listen to it on your own time. You can multitask with it. It is just so beneficial. I started listening to them last year, I think. Of course, we had Emma Chamberlain's podcast. Love that one. We also have Evangelical-ish. I just started that one a few months ago. Great. Love it so much. If you are kind of I don't know if I want to get into this right now. Maybe we'll save that one for a different time. But yeah, that one's a good one. I listen to my church's podcast. It's basically just the sermons uploaded. I work in the mornings on Sundays since my home church is not where I live right now. So I kind of just watch them whenever I can on Sundays. And the podcast, they usually upload it on Monday. So if I don't get the chance to watch the video form, then I listen to the podcast. But I can also multitask while doing it. It's really great. And yeah, I think it's just so fun. I know there's a Last of Us podcast for the show that just came out. I need to start listening to that. The show is amazing, by the way, if you don't watch that. Super good. Pedro Pascal, love him. I think the whole internet has kind of an obsession with him right now, and I'm a part of it. Okay, I hopped on the bandwagon. Okay, I'm not innocent. I'm very much guilty. But a little bit more about me and my hobbies. So I have picked up crocheting like a lot of people the last year. I kind of go through these phases though where I'll do like 3 or 4 projects and then be done for like 2 months and then get back on it. And right now I'm in my break period. Give me like a few more weeks and then I'll want to start something else. But yeah, that's been super fun, very productive. I've also kind of picked up reading again, as we can see from my little books right here. I just realized at the beginning of this year that I have to get off my phone, which is funny because I'm staring at my phone right now that's recording me. But in the sense of like spending all of my time on things like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and, you know, Snapchat, like it was draining me. And I always swiped up on my screen time notifications. And then I looked at them one day and I was like, oh my gosh, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. Like that is a lot of screen time for one day. Like it was too much. So I've been trying to read a little bit more just to get my head out of my screen, you know? I'm not really missing out on anything. I did take a 1 month break, I think, at the beginning of the year. I think, was it a month? I think so. And it was so refreshing. I did not have TikTok, Instagram, anything. I deleted Snapchat and Twitter. I hate Snapchat. I just kind of got it just because it's easy to talk with friends on when you don't want to text, and it was easy to just, pull out my phone and record something that was, funny that was going on. But other than that, I really wasn't missing out on anything. And Twitter, it was funny. I miss it sometimes, but again, another one that I really didn't need to keep up with. But yeah, that was just so refreshing and reminded me how much time I have when I'm not staring at my phone screen for 8 hours a day, So yeah, that was really beneficial. I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of started talking about it and then I lost track. Anyways, my hobbies, right? So yeah, reading has been fun. What else? I like to journal, as I kind of mentioned before. I'm kind of been slacking on it the last few weeks for sure, but just getting my thoughts and opinions out and my feelings out on paper is really, really nice. There are some things that you just kind of have to keep to yourself just to, I don't know. I think a little bit of secrecy with yourself is crucial. I don't even know if secrecy is the right word. Just having parts of yourself that are just to you is very nice and kind of comforting to me personally. So, whenever I have a good day, a bad day, an okay day, I just kind of like to write about it a little bit. And also, it's so nice to look back and see, if you're going through a tough time, if you've improved, what you can do different. It's very, very beneficial in my opinion. But yeah, I love journaling. I have completed 2 journals now. I'm on my 3rd one, and I started in 2019, I think, or maybe it was 2020. I don't remember. I'm a full-time student in undergrad. I'm a junior studying psychology. I don't even know if I talked about that yet. But yeah, I decided I wanted to be a psychology major, I think when I was in the middle of my freshman year of community college. And I feel like I didn't even know what psychology was until I was about 17 or 18. But even before that, I was always just a very, very introspective person. And I like to observe people's relationships and friendships and everything. In high school, I was always analyzing my friendships, which was kind of unhealthy at the time. But I took that as I'm just very in tune with my emotions and feelings. And I like to observe people. So that's when it kind of clicked for me, was freshman year of college. I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of like this. I'm really interested in this. And at first I wanted to be a children's therapist because in high school I worked for a little over a year as a swim instructor. Favorite job ever. It's so cute. The children are most of the time really, really sweet. And yeah, I think the, children's mental health is quite neglected, even today. And of course there's much more that goes into it than, just that. But yeah, I wanted to be a children's therapist up until honestly, probably this last semester. I decided to pick criminal justice as my minor starting spring, and I love it. Last year I kind of developed an interest in criminal psychology. I would watch things like JCS psychology videos on YouTube. If you know, you know. I hope it's JCS. I tend to get my letters mixed together. It could be either JCS or JSC. Amazing videos, well structured. If you're into criminal psychology, you should totally go watch them. But yeah, I got really, really invested in those kind of videos and all the other criminal psychology videos on YouTube. I fell in love with them. So now I'm minoring in criminal psychology, I'm minoring in criminal justice. And the few classes that I'm taking right now are phenomenal. I'm so interested in them. And I feel like I've definitely found my lane. So if I don't pursue something like children's therapy, it'll definitely be forensic psychology or criminal psychology for sure. Also, I wanted to apologize. I do say and like a lot. It's going to get better as I make these videos. Just be patient with me. These are not scripted at all. I have my list, yeah, but right now I'm just talking. I don't think they're ever going to be scripted. I might have a bullet point list of the points I definitely want to touch on, kind of like how I have here right now. But I don't know, if it's scripted, I feel like I'm just not really getting my thoughts out how I usually do, if that makes sense. I don't ever script out what I'm going to say. That's actually not true. Let me take that back, because I prepare for situations before they even happen, which is something that I'm working through. Hello, my lipstick is like, okay. That is definitely something that I'm working through right now in therapy, is just not focusing on things that I can't control. Love therapy. We're also therapy advocates over here on this podcast. I say me. There's only one person here. It's me. But yeah, I'm working through that right now, and it's so peaceful just knowing that I don't have to control everything, Yeah, now we're just rambling at this point, but this is just kind of some of the stuff that we're going to be discussing and diving into on the podcast. If you're enjoying this intro episode so far, then stick around. This is kind of how I talk. If, the way I talk is annoying, don't watch my stuff, okay? It's going to get better, though. As time goes by, I'm going to not trip over my words as much, and I'm not going to say as much. I'm still trying to work on that. That's been something I've been doing for a long time, though. So we'll see. Hopefully this podcast will help me build up better public speaking skills. I don't know if it's public, though, because no one's sitting in front of me except for my stuffed animals right there. But yeah. Another thing is I'm going to be filming in 3 potential locations. This one being one of them. My couch. I live here. My egg chair that's actually right behind you guys. And then my bed. Because I think it'd be fun to do like a little relaxing episode. Just me sitting in my bed, Because why not? Because I can. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just super excited, you guys. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to do it. And here I am. So if you like the structure, if you like the way, things are looking to go, stick around. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. I'm going to try and do once a week, if not every 2 weeks. I just need to see how I'm going to structure everything. I have an idea, right? But I need to see if I can execute the idea how I think I'm going to be able to, if that makes sense. So far, I'm content with this first one. We'll see how the next one goes. So, also, I wanted to add in there, it's not always going to be serious topics. We're going to be having some fun here and there, but I do kind of like to get into the serious stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.